This is Justin at Lynch Northwest, just showing you some tips on how to take apart those tricky, stubborn PM2s or Para 3s, or pretty much any other Spyderco for that matter. So here we go. Take those T6, get the clip out. You can see I've got an assortment of tools in front of me, but I'm going to kind of show you things I do first before I go another route. But you can at least see there's some different options and tricks that you guys can do at home to make this process easier. So I've got this fancy custom-made tool that I'm just going to go ahead and use, but throw my T10 in there. And you can do these in any order, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to run out that T10 for the pivot. There we go. And then these guys can be tricky since they're 2 screws, and sometimes those will spin and give you a headache. So I'm actually kind of hoping one does it to me right now so I can demonstrate how to solve that. Perfect, it's happening. So you can see well, maybe you can't see in the video, but I've got the other screw out and this guy here is just spinning on me. It won't loosen. So let's pause, we'll come back to that. Let's see how the stop pin does. That one's giving me grief, you can see that. Doesn't help that I'm using a tiny screwdriver, so let's try my bigger one, give me a little more leverage. Yep, that one there is just spinning too. Oh, there we go, started coming out. So I'm guessing that this other side here now is going to give us trouble. Now I've got the screw out, so I'm just going to get the blade out of the way for safety. But you can see I've got that guy stuck in there, and that one as well. So let's go back a little bit and let's try one of my techniques. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to put the other screw right back into place. We're going to give that nice torque so that way we can go back to this side, break that Loctite, and then I'm just going to snug it up just a little bit so it doesn't spin again, so we can re-loosen that guy there. Okay, and then I'm just going to squeeze it with my hand, give it light pressure. There we go. Now that one came out, and there's that little floating pin. You can see it came out. Those came apart relatively easy. It's not always the case, but when they are together, what I like to do is get them basically to this point, and then you'll just spread them like that, and you'll twist them while pulling, kind of like this. We're going to spread them apart while twisting, and that usually gets it off, but you can see in this case it obviously just popped out. Okay, so we've got that pin out, or this one here, but we still have this one here stuck in there. So we're actually going to go back and do the same thing again real quick and see if we can't get that out without having to resort to any other tools or methods. Trying to keep this simple since not everyone has all the fancy tools and whatnot to do this. So we'll just snug that down, come back over here. There we go, you can see I broke that Loctite loose, it's starting to come out there. We'll just tighten it back down a little bit. Go back to this side. Since we got that nice and tight, we'll just run that out. And then I'm just gonna try and squeeze them a little bit. There we go. Got the last one out. Okay. Some other little tricks you can do. Let's say that this guy's still stuck in there like that. Whoops. Let's just imagine that's stuck in there still. I really like using these Knipex wrench pliers. They have, you can see they're nice smooth edges. There's no teeth on those to mar up your hardware. And they're also skinny enough, they'll fit in between the scales, so you can just grab that and pinch nice and tight. You don't need a cloth, it's not going to scratch. And then you can flip it over and take that screw out. That's another really good option. But we've got this far, we've got the blade, got the clip off, got all those spacers out, stop pins. Last thing we got to do is get that stubborn lanyard tube out. And so you can see I've got a fancy tool here. This is from Sharp Dress Knives. This just goes over, whoops, I gotta loosen a little bit, goes over like that. You can twist this and it's basically a press, it's gonna push that out. But not everyone has this, they're not always available. So let's set that aside, let's try, again, like I mentioned, some stuff you guys can do at home. So you don't have to have this big fancy handle, but if you got some sort of 1/4 inch, doesn't matter what size, just 1/4 inch bit, you can actually fit this right into here, and it's like the perfect size to where it won't go through, but you can push. And this one didn't give me any trouble at all, but you can use those to pop those out. It fits right through while pushing that lanyard out. Let's put that back in, and let's pretend again that this is really stuck in here, because this knife honestly came apart way easier than I anticipated. So we're gonna try and spread the liner apart from the G10, just like that. Whoops, back together. Just like that, okay? We're just gonna get those spread apart. And then what I'll do is I'll take one of my T6s, a nice thin driver, and I'll put it in between like that. And then I'll kind of put my thumb here, pull down, and oftentimes just like that, you can see and hear how that popped out. This, you're not gonna have to worry about scratching or marring on your factory G10. It's also not gonna hurt the liner. They're super flexible, very durable, so no worries there. You can go real hard on that and it's not gonna break anything. So yeah, we've got that all taken apart. And you can see, you know, I didn't really have to resort to any of my other tools, specialty tools. These Knipex or Knipex, whatever, are fantastic for that kind of work. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other tips or tricks. I know these things can be a pain. I've done a bunch of them at this point, so those are some of the basic tricks I've learned that you guys can do at home. But as always, you know, we're always happy to build your knives for you free of charge if you're buying scales from us. We always appreciate the support and want to make this as easy and as fun as possible for you guys. Thanks so much.